Junius and Sylvia Reed, or more affectionately, Mom and Dad. Because of our efforts, Atlanta is in the strongest financial condition in more than a generation. In a development where average rents are $2,400 a month or more, these units will be home to residents paying as low as $900 to $1,200 per month. That is a life-changing event for a millennial or a young family. We have inspired the largest net employment shift into the city of Atlanta in 50 years, led by Bill Newdy and NCR, which is bringing 5,000 employees to the heart of Midtown Atlanta. And I was thinking about the extraordinary leadership of Ambassador Young and Mr. Billy Payne and so many others who taught our city that we could achieve great things together, even things that other people thought not possible. 34 years ago, I sat in a pew at Ben Hill United Methodist Church with my mother, who grabbed me and my 4 brothers who did not want to go to church to come to church with her and gave us no choice. And that day in the pew at Ben Hill, I had a lovely high top fade, which many kids are sporting now, and none of theirs are as hot as mine were. And a man named Ambassador Young was the Men's Day speaker at Ben Hill. Cornelius Linton Henderson was my pastor. And I remember looking up at my mom, Helen, and she was excited. And I was wondering, Tracy and Chuck, can we go home? And Ambassador Young came out of the pulpit. My mother grabbed us, walked us up to him, and he put his hand on my head. I got to tell you, I did not appreciate it. I pulled away. And she said, I want you to meet a great man. Well, back in those days, we didn't have Google. We had these red things called Encyclopedia Britannica, which my father bought us. And anything that my parents didn't know, you had to go to the red encyclopedias. If it wasn't in there, you were pretty much out of luck. So I started studying about Ambassador Young. And I remember after a bit of study coming to the conclusion that I was going to be mayor of Atlanta. That was impressive to my mom. If it was impressive to my dad, I was going to do that. And so I started living my life in a way where I might end up in that position. And then when I turned 20 years old, lo and behold, Ambassador Young was on the board of Howard University with me. And so I was on that board as a student. And he used to come to the board meetings. And what I would do is I would get to the board meetings early, Gene, and I would move the nameplate so that I could sit next to Ambassador Young. He thought that it was happenstance, but I was there moving my nameplate in private. At the end of that year, I was getting ready to take a job in New York. Ambassador Young looked me in my eye, said, you ought to come home to Atlanta. The city's going to need a mayor like you in 20 years. And what he doesn't know is that on my birthday, I was in a mayoral race and I was losing. And on my birthday, I was in Chicago because nobody in Atlanta believed that I was going to win. And I'm sitting in my hotel with a cupcake with a candle in it that Jan had brought me. And they left me in my room. The phone rings in the hotel. And he said, Kasim, this is Andy. And so not wanting to show how dispirited I was, how down I was, I did that fake voice, Andy, you know the one, hello. In the campaigns, everybody's running for mayor. Y'all better sound good all the time, baby. No, No bad phone voices, baby. Hello, how you doing? I'm feeling great. Folks forget that Ambassador Young has the spirit of a pastor. And so he could discern that that was fake. That wasn't real. So what he said to me on that phone that night, he said, how you doing? And I faked it. I said, I'm doing well. He said, well, you got a pen? And so I grabbed that hotel pen by the bed. He said, write down this number. He said, this is the number by my bed. He said, I want you to write it down. And he said, whenever you're feeling badly, I want you to pick up the telephone. And I want you to call me. And he said that I used to do this for Martin. And in the back of my head, when Ambassador Young says Martin, he's talking about Martin Luther King Jr. And he said, because I want you to be okay. He said, so if you're not asleep, I don't want to be asleep. And if you're awake, I want to be awake. And if you're not okay, I'm not okay. And then he hung up the phone. I believe with all of my heart that that was the turning point in my effort to become mayor of Atlanta. Because I thought that if a man that I had looked up to from that time thought enough about me to care about me, then my goodness, I should get up and I should carry on. The reason I shared that story today is because fast forward a few months later, when I got the phone call to tell me that I had been elected mayor, not by much, but I only needed to be elected mayor by a vote. Y'all need to remember that too. Sitting by my side in that hotel was Ambassador Andrew Young. It had been 40 years. That's the power of a dream. All of these things that we've discussed today are possible because of all of you. It is the essence of the greatness of our city. And when we are done, the city of Atlanta is going to take its place as one of the leading cities of the world. All because of you. It should be so, and it will be so. God bless you.